Fuel on the fire that there's a potential, maybe a divorce or some sort of rockiness going on in the Obamas' relationship. They both posted these mirrored, very choreographed Valentine's Day messages on X, but he was just seen at an LA, the basketball team. What's it called? I can't remember the name. The Clippers, thank you. Game without her. And
Barack Obama built his image on cool composure and polished speeches, but Megyn Kelly isn't buying it anymore. She cuts through the illusion, pointing out that behind the charm is a man obsessed with controlling his legacy while avoiding accountability. Obama tries to float above the chaos as if he's untouchable, but Kelly drags him back down, exposing the cracks in his carefully crafted image, leaving the smooth operator stripped of his protective sheen.
Stole his first term as president. These absolute liars who run around trying to act like they're the protectors of democracy completely ruined it, tried to undermine it at every turn and at the highest levels with lies, with out-and-out lies that were really serious, and changed foreign policy and changed the course of history in this country in Trump's presidency. And there must be accountability. There has to be actual criminal accountability for those who lied. And I can't wait to see this administration do it.
Barack Obama has spent years carefully crafting the image of an untouchable statesman, a polished figure who rises above the chaos of politics, sipping lattes and smiling as if the world revolves around his approval. But Megyn Kelly isn't fooled by the branding. She doesn't see a visionary leader. She sees a man who's been selling the same tired act for over a decade, hoping no one notices the cracks forming in the foundation of his so-called legacy.
And then with Steve Ballmer, who's the owner, he's been on this show. And then on Tuesday, he was spotted eating out at a fancy dinner in Sherman Oaks with both daughters, Malia and Sasha, but again, no Michelle, according to TMZ. So
I think they seem to be soft launching them.
If you're enjoying this video, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Obama's entire approach is textbook illusion. He disappears when accountability is needed and reappears only when applause is guaranteed. When things go wrong, he fades into the background, presenting himself as above the fray. But when it's time for a Netflix special or a carefully polished speech, he's back, ready to soak up the spotlight as if it's his birthright. Megyn Kelly has no patience for this act, pointing out that it all comes down to one thing: control. Obama wants to control the narrative, the image, and most importantly, his relevance.
There too, to me, it's like the elevation of Barack Obama was important to the left in this country. It was important to them. It was, you've made this point too, they were working something out of their own, about their own history, their own feelings, race, and so on. And factoring in, yes, point taken that Sheila is half Japanese too, but also half Dutch. So she looks white. So a white-ish ex-girlfriend fantasizing about having gay sex, that was not part of the program. That no one would have any interest in that. They only wanted to elevate the 2004 Democratic National Convention speaker. There is no red America. There is no blue America. There is only the red, white.
And that's the most damning part. It's no longer about leadership, but about clinging to cultural dominance long after leaving the White House. Obama has turned himself into the ultimate brand ambassador for his own image. Every speech, every media appearance, and every carefully crafted post-presidency moment feels less like statesmanship and more like a desperate marketing campaign to remind the world he still matters. Megyn Kelly sees right through it and calls it what it is: insecurity masquerading as influence.
When I first saw that he was seen at a basketball game without her, I'm like, well, that's no big deal. Doug would go to a basketball game without me all the time. I would say, go without me. But then when I heard, then he went on to meet with their daughters.
Right.
Like you know how it is. Like every parent who's got girls who are in college is like dying to spend time with their daughters. And so this is an opportunity to see both of them. And she's not there. So I don't know why, but this just keeps happening. And that Valentine's Day message was so ridiculously.
The irony is almost comedic. A man who once stood as the leader of the free world is now obsessed with controlling headlines like an influencer scrambling for likes. Obama's brand has become more fragile than his legacy, and Megyn Kelly wastes no time exposing that fragility. After all, what's worse than a man who pretends to be above criticism? A man who pretends to be above criticism while desperately craving validation.
That intelligence community assessment of January 17 was set to downplay Russian interference in the 2016 election. And then after a meeting with Obama and the top intelligence community officials, or at Obama's direction at least, the intelligence community did a complete 180 and played up Russian interference instead of playing it.
Obama loves to bask in the glow of nostalgia, reminding the world of the hope and change era as if it were a golden age. But strip away the slogans and polished speeches, and what remains? A healthcare plan that limped along under endless revisions, a foreign policy that left entire regions in turmoil, and a political machine that ultimately handed the country over to Donald Trump. Yet Obama carries himself as though history owes him gratitude. Megyn Kelly isn't handing out free passes. She reminds everyone that behind the eloquence was a record filled with mediocrity and missed opportunities. And here's where she twists the knife. Obama's obsession with his image isn't the behavior of a confident leader, but of someone who knows his legacy doesn't hold up under scrutiny. If he truly believed he was untouchable, he wouldn't constantly hover in the background, reminding America of his presence. He'd let his work speak for itself. Instead, he keeps reappearing, not because he's needed, but because he's terrified of being forgotten. That's the dirty little secret. Obama fears irrelevance. And for a man who once commanded global attention, the thought of fading into the background must be unbearable.
The question of the girlfriends without mentioning one of the other barn burners, and that is there was another girlfriend that he had whose letters with Barack were produced to you. She gave you letters between the two of them, except for the one paragraph that would then wind up going public via other means, via Emory University. You sent a researcher to go print what was in that paragraph. In the letters that were given to you, it just said a paragraph about homosexuality. This has made a lot of news, but it turns out that he was writing to his then girlfriend. This is back in the younger years, about how he had repeated fantasies of having sex with men. Now, what do you make of this? It's like, is Barack Obama a gay man? Is he a bisexual man? Like, what is your takeaway of the significance of that paragraph and why she didn't want to produce it to you and why no one's really gone there?